Hello, welcome back to another FPL video. Today we're going to be taking a quick little preview at Game Week 10, and my word, I'm still in desperate need of a trim. Nothing has changed since last time. Hopefully I'll be getting a trim soon. But anyway, we're going to be taking a quick look at the fixtures and a quick look at how the team lines up for the weekend. If you're new on here, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Really trying to push for that 200 mark. If you do enjoy the video, don't forget to leave a like. And without further ado, let's get straight into this. So first things first, we're going to take a look at the fixtures that are coming up for Game Week 10. So we start off with Crystal Palace versus Newcastle. Now for Crystal Palace, without their talisman Wilfried Zaha, where are the goals going to come from? We saw them be quite sloppy going forward against Burnley, and Burnley managed to keep a clean sheet. And then Newcastle without Callum Wilson weren't great against Chelsea. Callum Wilson will be back for this game, so we could see Newcastle scoring. I don't really know where it's going to come from Palace, but in general, I think this could potentially be a low-scoring game. I'm going to go with Palace still to nick at 1-0. Then we've got Brighton versus Liverpool. Mohamed Salah returns after testing positive for COVID only a couple of weeks back. He's been back in training, and he played against Atalanta where they lost mid-week. However, Mohamed Salah will be back for this game. He loves to score against Brighton, and I can see this being a 2-0 to Liverpool. There we move on to Manchester City versus Burnley, and De Bruyne and Kyle Walker have both been rested ahead of this game. I think Manchester City are going to roll through Burnley. I'm going to go for a very high scoring 5-0. I know that Manchester City have only scored more than one goal in one game this season. However, they have had some tough fixtures. De Bruyne has not been at the level that we expect of him, and also Aguero is returning for this game. And also, I think there is a little bit too much hype around Burnley's defence. They didn't actually look defensively that solid against Palace. It was more that Palace couldn't take their opportunities, rather than Burnley were actually solid at the back. Then we have Everton versus Leeds, two sides that love going forward and aren't great defensively. I'm hoping for a big game here, something like a 3-3, 4-3, an absolute thriller. This will definitely be the game that ends up 0-0 though. With Calvert-Lewin and Bamford very highly owned, this hopefully for a lot of people is a high-scoring game. Then we have West Brom versus Sheffield United. I mean, this is pretty much a dud game from a kind of neutral perspective, but it could turn out to be a very interesting game because it's two sides right now that are really battling it out in the relegation battle, as it were. So this could turn out to be an interesting game. On paper, you probably go for 0-0, but this will really mean a lot to either side. So we could see goals flying in here because both sides are nervous, or it could go the other way that we could see no goals flying in because everyone's just too nervous going forward and the defenders are just keeping them out. Then we have Southampton versus United. Bruno Fernandes likely to get on the score sheet again. I mean, I've not owned him at all this season, and it's been at my own detriment. I mean, he's been absolutely smashing it and sent me really far down the leaderboards. But Bruno Fernandes, I mean, Southampton, to be fair to them, sit on 17 points in the league now. This is going to be a tough game for United, who are sort of, they've just crept into the top half of the table. I think Southampton are really going to give them a game, and it could be a very interesting game, this one. Then Chelsea versus Spurs, one of the crunch games of the weekend. Two big teams battling out two potential title contenders. I think after that Manchester City win, Spurs are definitely in the race at the minute. I mean, basically anyone is in the race at the minute with the way this kind of season is going. No team is particularly running away with it. Yes, Liverpool look, even though they've had some injuries, that they're still sort of going to be really going for it and try to get as many wins as they can. But at the same time, I think they will slip up a lot more than they did last season anyway. And I really think this year it's anyone's. Then we have Arsenal versus Wolves, two teams that have been really lacklustre of late, to be honest. Wolves haven't looked particularly great going forward. They managed to snatch an equaliser against Southampton, but I mean, Jimenez has been looking quite off. But then again, with Arsenal, they lost. Nicolas Pepe got sent off. Aubameyang really hasn't been looking that great. Yes, he's a great finisher, but no one's really supplying him that ball in order to get forward and get in those attacking positions. And I guess Partey's been injured, so you can't really say with the introduction of Partey. But Arsenal defensively have not also been that great either. Yes, they kept a clean sheet against Wolves, but that was more because they were just on the back foot the whole game. And actually, it forced them to defend, and yes, they did defend well. But Leeds also had plenty of opportunities, which they should have buried. Then moving on to the Monday night games. Firstly, we start off with Leicester versus Fulham. A lot of people will be hoping for Leicester to do well, particularly Jamie Vardy. I can see many people captaining him this weekend because it is such a lovely fixture. We saw Calvert-Lewin pick up a brace last weekend against Fulham, and there's no reason why Jamie Vardy can't actually pick up a brace or get a few goals. He's been loving the penalties recently, and with the way that Fulham have been playing, they've really been passing the ball out the back. They've been progressing forward, and I think that could really suit Leicester's style of play in terms of counter-attacking. I think they're probably going to allow Fulham quite a bit of the ball and then just lob it over the top to Vardy, and I don't think they'll be able to handle it. And then finally, West Ham versus Aston Villa. I'm actually looking forward to this game. I think this will be a very interesting game. Two sides that have kind of really pushed on this season. West Ham have proved everyone wrong at the start of the season. They were sort of relegation contenders or relegation battlers. Right now, they really don't look like that. Sebastian Haller picking up his first goal of the season in the last game. It'll be interesting to see whether Antonio comes back into the side after Haller has picked up that goal. And Aston Villa, I mean, although they lost to Brighton, they created so many opportunities. Yes, Ross Barkley is out, but they still have the likes of Watkins, Grealish, Trezeguet going forward. They're a really good attacking threat. So now we're going to take a look at the team and how I'm faring for this weekend. I will say that this is the first weekend in a while that I'm actually feeling reasonably confident or reasonably happy with my team. I'm enjoying the games that I'm going to be able to watch and the players that I'm going to be able to support for this weekend. So in that, of course, we've got Martinez, who's just a long-term pick for me. Week in, week out, I mean, there were a couple of fixtures that I'd expect a clean sheet, but other than that, he's just in there as a solid keeper who gets some nice save points. Then in defence, we have the three main men, Chilwell, Cancelo and Walker. Yes, there is a little bit of doubt around Cancelo, whether he'll start this weekend with Mendy and Zinchenko coming back from injury. However, with sort of what Pep has said and the long-term plans, I think that Cancelo, Diaz, Laporte and Walker are his four main men at the back. And yes, it's not a crunch game against Burnley. However, I can still see Cancelo playing. Walker will definitely play because he's been rested during the week. Chilwell also looks very, very good at the minute. I don't expect him to keep a clean sheet against Spurs. However, he looks incredibly good going forward and could easily pick up some attacking returns. And Nathaniel Klein has had to come in because Wilfried Zaha has obviously picked up COVID. He would be playing for me this week, but obviously he's picked up COVID, as I just said. So Klein comes in now and hopefully they can keep a clean sheet against Newcastle. Then we move into the midfield, and I've taken a -4 this week, and you can see exactly for whom. Kevin De Bruyne comes in and gets that armband straight away. I'm still kind of tossing up whether to go for Salah and potentially Calvert-Lewin as well, because Leeds look defensively vulnerable. But De Bruyne has come in, getting the armband. Yes, he's not been too great so far this season, but after he's been rested throughout the week, Aguero's coming back, I really can see them going and absolutely slapping Burnley up. I really think they'll win this game. Salah coming back this early is really nice to see because a lot of people have transferred him out. So me keeping him, hopefully he can pay me by getting a couple of returns against Brighton as well. Son, obviously, I was sort of debating before this week whether I was going to go Son to Bruno. I still think Bruno looks incredible, but with the form that Son is on, I mean, he's just going to keep on going and keep on going. And if you hold out with him for a little bit, his fixtures do turn again, and he gets some really nice fixtures. And Grealish as well for 7.6 million. Well, I think I bought him for 7.2, 7.1. I mean, he's just incredible value. He genuinely looks like he's going to score or assist every game, and now I sound like a broken record because I say that every single time Grealish comes up, but he genuinely does, so he easily could return against West Ham at the weekend. Then moving into the attack, and we've got Patrick Bamford and Calvert-Lewin playing against each other for their respective sides. I think neither team has a particularly good defence, as previously mentioned, and I genuinely just think that this is going to be a pretty high-scoring game, and hopefully both of those two can get on the score sheet as well. And obviously we have Zaha there, who won't be playing because of COVID, but then we also have Brewster as well, who have brought in a 4.5 million attacker, but I just wanted another player who's actually starting and playing for their side, so Brewster comes in. I mean, he has been benched a couple of times, but he got benched last week because he was injured. I don't think he's going to continue to be in bench. I think he will start because he's the £20 million signing, so they're going to want to see him and they're going to want to play him, and once he starts starting and starts picking up returns, he could even come in and be a very nice player to put in the team. But I think he's just a nice filler to grab you 1 or 2 points every single week. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed. If you have enjoyed, please don't forget to hit that subscribe, hit that like button. Good luck everyone for the coming weekend. Obviously, I want my players to do well. You want your players to do well, so good luck and just enjoy it. I'll catch you in a bit.